there's more than one reason to celebrate. Let's go on a journey. And count the ways as we take you to experience a different side of the world's cultures. Adventure awaits on Festivals of the World. San Fermin. In the city of Pamplona, Spain, one of the most exciting events is the Festival of San Fermin, Pamplona's patron saint. The fiesta is celebrated annually, from July 6th until July 14th. San Fermin became more popular when it was featured in Ernest Hemingway's novel, The Sun Also Rises. The festival officially begins when the pyrotechnic Chupinazo is set off at 12 noon on July 6th from a balcony on the City Hall. The city mayor gets to decide who will be the privileged person to set off the Chupinazo bell. The rest of the people will be waiting at the City Hall Square and other places in Pamplona for the release of the Chupinazo. Pamplona folks don't wear any fancy costumes during the festival, so you won't be out of place if you're just in casual clothes. But many others wear white shirts and pants and tie a red handkerchief around their necks and a red scarf serving as a belt on their waists. Perhaps the most famous feature of San Fermin Festival is the running of the bulls. Aside from being featured in Hemingway's novel, it is the most exciting and the most dangerous part of the 8-day celebration. Bulls are really set loose, and they run on the streets of the city. It is believed that this is the way to show San Fermin the local men's bravado. Only physically fit men aged 18 to 29 years old can participate, and they race against the bulls because of the danger it imposes. So, before anyone participates, it must be fully understood that this activity is dangerous, and people in the past have died because of this. If you join, you must really be sure that you want to participate, and you can run fast because the bulls are really gonna charge at you. It doesn't get better for you if you just watch from the sidelines. The speed of the bulls and the men running from them would definitely make your heart stop. Bulls would attack if they see the slightest movement, and with all the bustle going on, there's no stopping them from going wild. The running of the bulls happens from the second day until the last day of the festival every morning at 8 a.m. So if you missed the running on one day, you can still see it on other days. This fiesta is definitely showcasing a lot of bulls because there are bullfights every afternoon as well. Be a part of the community clad in white and red, because San Fermin is the one time people are nice to anyone. Enjoy your stay in Pamplona and don't get gored by the bulls. You don't want to end up with the same fate as Saint Fermin, do you? If you don't know what this means, have a last bit of information about San Fermin Festival. It was said that Saint Fermin died because he was dragged to death by rampaging bulls on the same streets in Pamplona where the festival is held at present. Basically, the festival is a yearly demonstration of Pamplona's patron saint's morbid death. Don't back out now, as long as you don't get in the way of the running bulls. You've got nothing to worry about. Have fun! Rio Carnival. See a more interesting side of Rio de Janeiro by coming to the Rio Carnival. Considered to be the biggest carnival in the world. About 2 million come to Rio for this event, and the entire city just turns into a host of a huge 5-day-long party. The beginnings of the Rio Carnival traced as far as the 18th century, where immigrants from Portugal introduced it to the Brazilians. They used to call it entrudo. Energetic crowds splashed lime-scented water at each other. It was the working class who enjoyed it the most and wore costumes imitating and mocking the rich. Rio Carnival begins 4 days before Ash Wednesday, and the whole world has its focus on the happenings at Sambadrome Arena, one of the carnival's main venues. Samba, Rio's homegrown dance, takes a huge part in this festivity. Aside from being considered as the heart of the Rio Carnival, the best samba schools compete at the Sambadrome Arena. The schools also present their grandest, most colorful, and most beautiful floats. The colors and the extravagance just burst to life under the bright lights of the Sambadrome. People, especially women, wear big feathery headdresses and the fanciest costumes you'll see. Some also wear masks. So if you feel like being a real samba dancer, you can also put on a grand costume just like the Rio folks. The locals take the Rio Carnival very seriously and take them several months of rigorous preparations. So it would be really great if tourists become one with them in this grand celebration. You'd also want to prepare yourself because Rio maximizes the mayhem by throwing street parties everywhere in the city. In fact, even though the carnival season is around February, the parties have begun in mid-January. The only way to survive this carnival is to keep up with the local folks' energy. It's also a great time to show off your samba skills, or if you don't know how to dance, it's a great opportunity to learn. It's also a good chance to visit Rio's most popular spots, like Christ the Redeemer, Copacabana Beach, and many others. So what are you waiting for? Plan your pre-Lenten season trip at Rio de Janeiro and feast your eyes on a breathtaking city and the biggest carnival in the world. After all, Rio Carnival earned its reputation as the biggest and the most famous dance party in the world. Time seems to stop at Rio de Janeiro for a few days because what matters to all Cariocas, or the very ecstatic Rio locals, is the carnival. All serious businesses are all put into a halt and set aside. Why not? That's the reason for the carnival season after all. The more solemn times are ahead, so have fun and be crazy now. You could say that this carnival is taken seriously by Cariocas just as how much Americans love the Super Bowl or how much Colombians take beauty pageants seriously. The Rio Carnival is one of the city's signature events, and it's only right that you enjoy. Let's just say that having an exhilarating time at Rio is a way to pay back for all the hard work and preparations the Cariocas did. The more solemn times are ahead, so have fun and be crazy now. St. Patrick's Day. If you see shamrocks, Irish flags waving, and everybody wearing green, you wouldn't have to guess what day it is. It's St. Patrick's Day. Every March 17th is a worldwide celebration for Ireland's patron saints. St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in more countries than any other national festival. In Ireland, they have expanded St. Patrick's Day into St. Patrick's Festival, which happens from March 16th until March 19th every year. Places outside Ireland take Irish traditions on St. Patrick's Day. It's their patron saint's death day after all. Restaurants even offer Irish food, Irish bread, cake, stew, potato soup, and coffee. They also offer corned beef and cabbage, and beef and Guinness pie. And because green is the dominant color on this day, even some drinks are dyed green. Don't worry, they're still gonna taste the same. It's impossible to miss out on the huge parades in cities where many Irish Americans live. Unless you lock yourself inside your room. People participating in the parades are usually dressed up like a leprechaun, a figure in Irish folklore. Others may not wear leprechaun costumes, but they wear as much green clothing as they can and put on shamrock pins or patches on their clothes. It's very clear that the Irish own St. Patrick's Day. You could blend in by wearing green like everyone else, or stand out by wearing other colors like blue. Originally, the color associated with St. Patrick was blue, as it was the color of old Irish flags until 1798, the year of the Irish Rebellion. They picked green as their new color, and since then, green has been the color associated with St. Patrick's Day. Ever wondered why the shamrock has been St. Patrick's symbol? It was said that St. Patrick used the 3 leaves of shamrock to help explain the Holy Trinity to the Irish pagans whom he wanted to convert to Christianity. St. Patrick was also said to banish all the snakes in Ireland, but scientific studies show that there are no more snakes in Ireland since after the Ice Age. This banishing the snakes legend must be figurative. The Irish were previously pagans who worshipped snakes until St. Patrick was able to convert them. Bring out your Irish at heart personality by visiting the country where this celebration originated. Ireland's capital, Dublin City is a captivating place. It's a beautiful clash of medieval and modern, as Dublin has lots of establishments and streets that were inspired from the Middle Ages and Renaissance at the same time, filled with trains, towering city buildings, and crowds of busy people. If you're at Ireland on St. Patrick's Day, it'll surely be a double treat because the Irish bears another side of them on their Patrons' Festival. You better get your green clothes, shamrock pins, and Irish flaglets ready because on St. Patrick's Day, the Irish rule the world and you definitely want to be a part of them. Austin City Limits. Another awesome music festival takes the form of Austin City Limits Music Festival at Zilker Park in Austin, Texas. There's really no specific genre of music offered, so whatever your taste in music is, surely Austin City Limits has something to offer you. Since 2012, it became a 2-weekend festival, and the festival falls on the first and second weekends of October. The music festival got a popularity boost because of its multi-awarded television show counterpart, which has been airing live music programs since 1976. Austin has been dubbed Live Music Capital of the World because of Austin City Limits. Both rising and established names in music are going to perform, so who knows? You might see your favorite artist and even better, discover other musicians that play your favorite kind of music, whatever genre that may be. Thanks to their eclectic lineup of musicians, you'd not only party to your favorite music, but be able to listen to other genres as well. Austin City Limits is a perfect place for you if you're the nature-loving person. Zilker Park is a huge green space far away from all the towering city buildings and busy streets. It's always the perfect place to hold Austin City Limits, which is why the festival never changed its location since its first edition. If you're feeling a bit exhausted, jumping up and down to the exhilarating music, you can just sit on the grass for a short rest. Food is never missing in a festival, no matter how small or big it is. In Austin City Limits, there are lots of food stalls. They are together in one side of the park, so you never have a hard time choosing which food stall to look for. The tickets for the first and second weekends are different, so it's most likely that you'd only be able to attend on one weekend. But don't worry, the lineup of musicians are almost exactly the same, so you're gonna have a weekend just as amazing as everyone else's. However, it's really up to you on how to make your Austin City Limits experience more memorable. It's a festival, so you'd expect lots of people. It's a great opportunity to hang out with your friends, or you can meet and make new ones at the festival itself. With a break away from the stressful city, and your favorite musicians playing, Austin City Limits definitely knows the best ingredients to an amazing weekend. This festival is almost like a mini city in itself, with its water-filling areas, local and authentic Texas food vendors, and on-site breweries featuring locally made beers. Everything starts and ends on time. Prices of everything you purchase in the festival are reasonable, and it's easy to go from one stage to another. You can buy food and drinks without having to wait too long and miss the musical acts. The festival respects the human race here and does its best to prevent any annoying habit a music festival could possibly do. Well, enough blabbing. And why don't you just see the festival for yourself and be the judge? Appreciate cultural diversity. When you go to a festival, especially those abroad, it's not surprising if you sometimes get culture shocked. Too friendly people, food that you've never seen before, uncomfortable costumes, traditions that you have no knowledge of? Well, that's okay. The culture that you've grown into can't be the only culture in the world. Coming to festivals is a great opportunity to try something different and learn something new. It's a refreshing experience to be a part of something you're not too familiar with. No one will mind. Festivals, especially the bigger celebrations, attract quite a number of tourists, so you won't be alone. Instead of being reluctant of doing a festival tradition, try it. Try wearing a Venetian mask. Splash water on strangers at Songkran. Throw colored powder in Holi. Or release a bright lantern into the sky at Yipeng. New experiences are always the best to remember, so don't be a killjoy or be judgmental. Local folks wouldn't like that. Surely, you won't be forced to do something that is really dangerous or that practice would have already been banned. Appreciate how differently things are done and celebrated. It's a great learning experience and worth remembering. The celebration ends here, but the fun is not over. And we still have more festivities to look forward to. So recharge your energy and get ready for another adventure. We'll see you again on Festivals of the World.